I'm very
Yeah,
happy to talk to you, Joe. It's been a long time.
yeah, I'm very happy and very glad to talk to you and see you again.
Yeah,
There have been so long we have not met each other.
that's right. Perhaps 10 years, I guess. And I am
Oh,
very
really?
happy you could take a time to talk with us. My project is related to videos that I am recording with people around the world, professionals that deal with international law. And you,
Yeah, of course.
uh, the top one, I would say.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me know a little bit of what you have been doing after our master degree.
Um, I I started my career as lecturer in law at Bangkok University in Thailand, and then I moved to Thammsat University. Thammsat is one of the prestigious school for the law school in Thailand. It's very competitive to work there. We have to produce a lot of works. We have a lot of classes. The students are very good. And then I worked for Thammsat for a little while, and then I went to study my PhD. I did my PhD in Germany. My topic is about private international law, and then I come back to Thammsat to resume my teaching. When my dissertation is ready, I'm gonna come back to Germany to defend my dissertation. Yeah,
Wow.
and I have a lot of fields of interest: law and innovations, private international law, international economic law. Yeah,
And,
and today I'm gonna talk about the law innovations on international aspects.
and in fact, it's a very interesting subject. I could remind something that happened in 2015, I guess, in Brazil, when uh, after you sent me the suggestion of the theme we are going to discuss, and then I
Right.
reminded something that happened with WhatsApp here. The Brazilian justice blocked for around 72 hours the service because it
Yeah.
wanted WhatsApp to release some private data
Ah.
users that could lead to the solution of felony. But at the end, I want to hear from you what's your suggestion regarding this type of contracts between tech companies that are providing services worldwide and the host states, and also regarding the users of their platforms.
Yeah, okay. So actually the basic idea of a diagonal contract that I presented to you on my paper is about the accommodations of services from faraway lands, and also accommodations of the technologies. It can accommodate, any kind of services. And when you are the tech firms or the tech companies in one countries, and right now the biggest countries that export the services and technology is US, especially in the Bay Area in California. They have Cisco, they have Uber, they have Airbnb, they have Google. And the problem right now is that these tech companies provide a lot of services in other countries. I can say around the world, almost all places know Google and use its services. But the problem right now is that there is no communications or the proper communications between these tech companies and the government of the countries where the services of these tech companies come into place are used by the people, help people, facilitate their life. Uh, Thailand also have Uber. We call it Grab actually. Uh, we use a lot of services from Google Map, and many things. Airbnb is not yet legal in Thailand, but more and more Thai people still use Airbnb. The problem right now that I see is that there is no proper communications. There is no platform that can be established between the government of the country that receive the services from the tech companies and with the tech companies itself. And when we look at the traditional framework, according to the international investment law, the contract will be defined or will be categorized as an international investment contract or state contract when a tech company or an investor come into the country and establish a corporation in the country. But this does not work in the meantime, I mean, like for the tech companies, that they are still in their own country and they don't want to move the capital. They don't want to establish the companies in other countries, but they still provide a lot of services to the people around the world. And the problem, right? Yeah.
In many cases, this is because of the tax benefits that they receive in their own countries, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. In Thailand, we have the problem because like Airbnb from the US get money from Thai people and also the foreigners that come as the tourists. But the government does not get the taxation from them. And not only the matter of the taxations, but there are, security stuff, customer protection.
Mm-hmm.
The government expects so many things from the Airbnb and also other tech company, to do something properly, with the people. And that's why I am interested in, making and proposing the solution for accommodating the activities between, the tech companies, the interactions with the people in the country. And it comes to me with a model that I call diagonal contract that, can be established between the government of one country and the tech company from far away, from US or any other countries in the world. So they can make some arrangements in the contract. And these arrangements will have legal effects, can be bound between these two parties. And this has not yet been accomplished, as a legal model in the world, because it cannot be categorized as any kind of arrangements under the GATS, General Agreements on Trade in Services of the WTO. It cannot be categorized as anything as an international investment agreement according to ICSID. So this is something very particular, and it's kind of legal innovations that I try to propose. So we, the people like in the countries in Thailand or in Brazil, have the problems with WhatsApp, and the government does not know like the proper way to deal with this, and then they only put some legal measures. And when they put the legal measures, those who are adversely affected are the people in the country, people in Brazil, the people in Thailand, because the government cannot communicate with the platform. So they don't know how to do so. They put legal measures, they impose legal measures on the people, criminal sanctions or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
administrative acts. And this is happening in Thailand. So this is my research, and I would like to create a platform in the form of international contract. This is kind of an international contract that on which the government of one country can communicate with the tech firms, the tech companies that provide services to the people. So they can put some arrangements. Yeah, this is my idea. Yeah.
Fun. And when are you expecting to publicize this, to make it public, your paper?
I try to make it within the end of this year. Try not to be more than this period of like. I get the sponsorship from my university, Thammsat University, and I try to finish my writing around next month. Yeah, and but publications, it's a longer period of time.
Yes. And Joe, do you think that the small tech companies could also make these type of arrangements or at the end they would be in a vertical relationship with the host state?
Yeah, many people may think that the bargaining powers might be lower than the state, but if you read some articles, like I read some articles, and many people agree on one point that not necessarily the tech, the companies has a lower bargaining power. Sometimes like the tech company has a higher bargaining power than the states, because like, right, some people define these, company as a form of sovereign entity, but that's, kind of satirical, connotations that they used to.
Say that it's a very sovereign entity.
Because they're very big, right? They're very big. Yeah, Google, Airbnb, Uber. Sometimes they, the state or the government cannot do much with them, but they already have contacts with the people. Yeah, and there's a lot of limitations that the government, if they want to do some sanctions, like in the platform. I talked to some IT people. They said that it's possible, but it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult.
I can
see. So as long as they are connected with the people or the platform users, they can do a lot of activities, and the government cannot come to intervene. I always thought the government come and then try to say that if you want to do some activities in our own country, you need to do some registrations. Like YouTube in Thailand once, were requested by Thai government to register with Thai government, so that, the Thai government can, put some sanctions on the YouTube's activities. But that never happened at all. And and the government has limitation in terms of, coming to interfere with the activities of YouTube. And that is also limitations, for the Airbnb and also Uber. So that's why my suggestion is we need to have the contract. So we can put some arrangements in the contract, and no matter like bargaining power of which party is higher than another one, but the best things is that like you come into agreements, and most of the benefits will go to the people in the country, consumers, or prosumers. Like the new terms is prosumers, the platform users.
Oh, interesting. Joe, do you think that, or can you mention a similar contract of an existent one, similar to a diagonal contract?
When I did my research to compare like with procurement agreement, like the government
when by
concluded the procurement agreement with a company from other countries. So that kind of like diagonal things, like the government is higher than another party, and then they had an agreement, and at the end the people in the country get some benefits from the contracts. Or I also compare with like the oil supply contract. Government in many countries like did concluded the contracts, this kind of contract, and then like they get the oil or the energy supplying contract, they get energy from other countries and then like supply to the people inside the countries. So the structure of the contracts is not so much different from this kind of contract, but in my research I do focus on diagonal contract that could provide services in terms of like the law and the technologies and innovations that we can benefit from these tech companies. So it's kind of the contract between the government, but government does not get the benefits, directly from the tech company. They will confer the benefits to the people themselves and for themselves, and the government can be accommodated in terms of the taxations. For example, the Airbnb may like allot a number of percent, perhaps like for example 7% for the consumer taxation in Thailand, and then the Airbnb may get the tax and then spend it directly to the government. And the government also can suggest Airbnb in terms of like competition policy, discrimination policy, and many things that that can happen. It depends on you guys, like what you want to put in the contracts. Yeah, but it's kind of something new. Yeah.
Yes. And Joe, let's change a little bit the subject. What do you think about the last announcement of the treaty between Mercosur and European Union?
Actually, I have heard that there have been, the efforts between these two economic communities for a long time, and then I do support any kinds of liberalizations, and because the end and the ultimate beneficiary is going to be the people between two countries. They can choose the best services from both continents, from many countries in the world, and then like they have more competitions. So when they compete more, the people are going to get more benefits from those products and also services. So I fully support. But of course, we have to think about something else that can be negative consequences from the liberalization. Sometimes like the SME in the countries cannot adapt themselves. Of course, when the trade flows come in, investment flows come in, people get benefits, but SME and small like businesses, they can be bankrupt. And in Chile, like we were in Chile, Chile is the country that is very, they go forward. They are very in favor of any kind of liberalizations, and the government does not care, whether or not the people, the local companies, the SME is going to be adversely affected from this process. But I want to be skeptical a little bit about these kind of things. And you can liberalize, but you need to think about some people that need time to adjust.
I see. What about the feeling of the Thailand people regarding China, regarding their project of the
OBOR?
Yes.
I personally, I am Thai Chinese in Thailand, living in Thailand with my Thai Chinese family. Well, actually, between China and Thailand, I couldn't see anything new, because like we have had like long, very very long, hundreds of years, thousands of years economic relationships. But this moment, I think more arrangements gonna be consolidated. We're gonna be in depth in terms of trade and investment arrangements between a big country like China and also Thailand. But in here, we dare not to make arrangement with China because China is so big. We do something very similar to Mercosur and European Union, like ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. We come, together, and then we do arrangement with China. But I did not like do much research between on their relationships. But okay, it's going on, and then I think there are going to be a lot of things happening. Right now, more Chinese companies come into Thailand, and they take over a lot of things here in Thailand. Thai people have to adjust a lot. They use a lot of artificial intelligences.
Wow.
China they use right now, like they have the factory, and they prefer not to hire local people or even Chinese people. They use like the artificial intelligence in terms of like the production process, and also decision making process as well. So they did a lot of things that does not appear on the news. And Thai people need to adjust and adapt themselves, in order to compete with newcomers, and also the people around the world. Because they will not stop only in Southeast Asia, but they go to Africa. They're gonna go to Latin America.
They are here already.
They're here already. Yeah.
Joe,
It's a new kind. It's a new kind of imperialism. Yeah.
It is. I'm not. I have no doubt about that. Really, Joe. I will invite you later for you to talk a little about human rights.
Oh, of course.
Yes, I know this is one of your issues and subjects, I mean. And at the end of my talks, I always ask people to tell me about their favorite song, local song.
Favorite song.
Yes, tell me, what's your favorite one?
The local song, well, if I sing the local song, it's going to be, you know, you won't understand because it's going to be in Thai language. There are many favorite local songs. I don't know, but
if you prefer, you can send me the link and then I put in the description of our talk.
Yeah, of course. Let me choose one, and then they're gonna send you the link. Because I prefer not to sing right now.